Hi, I'm Jenna, also known as RetroLemon, and this is episode 165. So the knit-along is still going along. We need to get some more entries in. This is the last day of May. I'm going to give it a couple extra days so somebody can try to squeak one in. Up for grabs is a skein of O-Loops, the glitter base called Makes Me Feel So Good. So this was a club colorway. It was donated. So it has some sparkle. It's a beautiful bright raspberry pink and electric blue. Very fun. And so it's our under the sea knit along, so you can knit any of the under the sea critters, from turtles to crabs to squids and fishes and octopus and frogs. There's a whole list on Ravelry with links to all the patterns to make it easy. Yeah, so that's going on. You can, you have until the end of June, but we're going to draw for another prize. We're going to draw for that prize, and then we'll have one other prize at the end of the knit-along. So that's it for knit-along information. If you've been watching it, you've heard it before. So I do have an FO. I'm so excited. So I did finish my Morio. So it's not blocked, but it's finished. It's off the needles. So it makes me excited. So, felt like the garter stitch went on for like ever and ever and ever. So you knit it from sideways, from one end to the other, and then you go and you pick up and put the lace on. I'm trying to think. The natural colored yarn, so it's like an off-white, kind of a creamy white, is Malabrigo sock. And then the variegated is, there's two ways to say it, and the way that I always say it, I know is not the proper way, but it's the way I always hear it said. So it's Araucania, and it's the Hausco, H-A-U-S-C-O, starts with an H. I need to find the tag. It's their sock yarn. It's a wool nylon blend. It's the same wool nylon blend as the Malabrigo sock. That's why I chose to put them together, because I wanted a natural yarn to go with it, and the Araucania did not have a natural to go with it. I think the pattern's by Heather Zapetti, if I remember correctly. So I can't wait to have it all blocked. I have to weave in my ends too. Like, it literally just came off the needles last night. So I was so excited to get it done, like right before I went to bed, because that was my goal. I did not want to go to sleep and have this still on the needles. So I'll try to move up a little closer. See, so there's the lace. I think it's going to be so pretty when it's all blocked out. It has been raining all day here. It's so crazy. It's the end of May. And it's overcast and rainy. It has done nothing but rain for the last few days. So, lighting's not quite the best, but it works. So I don't have any works in progress. This is the only thing that I've been working on, and I've tried to work on it pretty steadily when I get the chance. Not a ton of time to knit the last 2 weeks. I made it in 2 weeks. Work is still really busy, but I try to get at least a couple rows in before I go to work. And I try to work on it in the evenings when I can. And, so, yeah. It was an easy pattern, easy to understand. No issues with the pattern whatsoever. So, once again, it's the Morio, M-O-R-M-O-R-I-O. I do have some Yarny goodness to share with you. So, I didn't know if, okay, let me backtrack a little. So, last weekend was Memorial Day weekend. And it's also the weekend of the Great Lakes Fiber and Wool Show. So it's a smaller type venue, but it's so funny because I had talked to some of the vendors that come, and they also do Maryland sheep and wool, and they say they like our little festival better because there's not so much grabby hands and chaos, and yet sales are still pretty steady. So that made me feel good because I love our little festival, and I would love to see it going for many, many years. So the first person I had to seek out, because I just love seeing all her stuff in person, and she's so super nice, is Kimber of Fiber Optic. So Kimber Baldwin. And I have been wanting this paint box for a long time. I actually went last year trying to find this, and she was sold out of it. Because of when Maryland Sheep and Wool is and what our festival is, she doesn't have time to really restock a whole lot. So I think this year she kind of made sure we had a good variety as well. So very pleased about that. So it is the paint box. Last year I got the one with cashmere, and this year it's just the 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. So you get 15 mini skeins, 30 yards each, for a total of 450 yards, which is 4.25 ounces. So my paint box that I got, and it's a Footnotes paint box, gradient, is turquoise to tangerine. So this is one I've been wanting. It tells you what kind of a patient person I am, because I went to get it last year, same time, Memorial Day weekend, and she didn't have it, and got it this year. Well worth the wait. So it's this beautiful bluish turquoise, and it goes into a little bit of green, kind of limey, yellow, and then transitions into this beautiful tangerine. Don't have any clue what I'm going to make with it yet. I have one other paint box set. Still haven't used it. I feel like I need something super, super special, because I know that they're just hard to get. I always miss them online. Always. And I do have this on fiber as well, and I don't feel that I'm a good enough spinner yet to spin it, because it only comes in a silk wool blend, and excuse me, I have the hardest time with something with silk. It's so slippery, it just glides right through my fingers, and I end up more frustrated. So I know I just need more practice. So excited to finally get it. And then, so I ran into my bestie Kristen, and I'm like all excited to see her because I knew she'd be there. And my husband went with me. And so she's like, oh my god, you have to go see. It's like this camper van type thing full of yarn. It's like a yarn store on wheels. And I'm like, oh wow, that's really cool. Like, you know, I've heard of such a thing before, right? So as I'm walking up to the van, I'm like, OMG. No, it isn't. And it totally was. So it was the Knit Buffalo Yarn Truck, who the owner of it is Jenna of 716 Knit. So excited because I always see Jenna when I go to Zombie Knit Apocalypse, and she didn't realize I'm not going this year. So it was really kind of fun because I guess she's taking the Knit Buffalo Yarn Truck to Minnesota. And so it was kind of fun. I got to go and see it for everyone else that'll be there since I don't get to go. But it was so great to see her, and it was amazing. I have total like yarn truck envy, right? It's so awesome. So I didn't take a lot of money with me, and the deal was I was only going to spend the money that I took. So I bought, I had to get some 716 knit off the Knit Buffalo yarn truck. It just didn't seem right not to. So I finally got my hands on a skein of Care Bear with Bangs. So it is a striping sock yarn, and it stripes black, and then a stripe of striping neon colors. So it is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. So excited because I've been wanting this for a while and just haven't snagged it. And so it was so fun. It was so fun to see her and her yarn truck, and that was all I bought. I bought 2 things at the thing. But I saw so many amazing things, and there were so many things I wish I had. But I'm like, almost out of money. But it's all good because I have so much yarn. And I told my husband when we were going, I'm like, if I can get my hands on that paint box set from Fiber Optic, if that's all I buy, I will be leaving the Fiber and Wool show a happy camper. So the fact that I got that skein of 716 knit, absolute bonus. So happy with my purchases. No regrets. It's not like getting home with a big bag of stuff going, maybe I shouldn't have bought all this. So I had a lot of fun. I got to see so many people that I've met over the years, walking around, and vendors that I've gotten to know there. So absolutely great little show. If you ever get the opportunity to go, it's absolutely worth it, I think. So, and that's it for the knitting and yarn part of it. So I guess we're going to move into a slice of life. So, super busy at work. Summertime, we're super busy. Summer is kind of just as busy for us as like the holiday season. So I'm trying to think, like pretty much like once we start getting close to Memorial Day and then through June and July and into August, and it's just, we're so busy. So been busy making chocolates and fudge and just learning all that I can of the stuff that I don't know yet. Definitely feeling more comfortable with the job, so that is a huge plus because I want to do it and I want to do it well. I mean, I'm a perfectionist at heart and I just can't help that. So sometimes when I can't get something right away, I get frustrated. But it's gone really well. Really happy to be there. I think I definitely found my place there, and like I said, couldn't be happier with the job. And working lots of hours for sure. Doesn't give me a whole lot of time for other things, but I did sign up for another art class. Oh, I forgot my painting. I'll have to try to remember to show you next time. But I did finish my art class, finish my painting. I don't know where to put it. Like, it's one of those things, like, if I would have been given an option of things to pick, it might not have been what I would have picked. But I learned so much doing this painting that it was worth every penny. So, no regrets about that. Like I said, it's a flower, and it's kind of, the background's kind of dark, and it just doesn't really go with my house, which is very bright and colorful. But the painting is beautiful. I put it on Instagram, for those of you who have seen it. And if you follow me on Instagram and you think all I post is knitting stuff, you're going to be greatly disappointed. It's very few knitting things. So I think since I've had less knitting things, I've lost some followers, which, hey, that's fine, you know. But it's a lot of my dog, it's chocolates, it's art stuff, it's whatever I'm doing at the time. Like, I can't even say it's always one particular thing. It's whatever's going on at the time. So, I signed up for another art class, and this one it's like a hummingbird and flowers, and it's really cute, because we get to see them before you sign up for it. Because if you don't want to paint it, then she doesn't want you to take the class. So, I'm excited. I think it'll go good in my kitchen, is where I'll put it, and, so, last time I did the art class, so you pay the class fee, and then you pay a supply fee. So you either pay a small supply fee, which covers your canvas and stuff like that, and you provide your own brushes and paints, or you pay extra on top of that. You pay a bigger supply fee, and you use a classroom set of brushes and the paints and stuff like that, which is fine. The one drawback is if you kind of wanted to, like, go home and you kind of, like, weren't happy with something and wanted to change it before the next class, you're kind of stuck because you don't have any of the supplies. So I went and decided to buy my own supplies this time, so I bought a bunch of brushes, and I bought a whole paint box set. And it's funny because she said, you know, there's usually the same kind of basic paints that we use over and over, and we mix them to get all the different colors. She's like, so you don't need to buy a big set. And I'm thinking, you don't know how I am. I'm kind of a go big or go home kind of thing a lot of times. So I did buy the 48 color box set, and they're little, like, 22 ounce tubes. Because I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I learned so much from the first class, and this class we're going to learn so many different techniques, and I don't know how many I'll take altogether. They're 3-week classes for 2 hours each session, but I'm like, oh, I wanted to learn just some techniques so I can paint at home. That's my end goal. I used to paint all the time in high school. We had, like I think I've said before, we had a really great art program where I went. Tons of supplies. There really was no limit, it felt like, to what we could do. It And we were always free to bring in our own supplies if we wanted. So I really want to get back to that. I just forgot how much I enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to my next class, and that's, you know, something fun I'm trying to do. And then the other thing is I keep seeing on Instagram about this book. And I keep seeing people doing it and tagging it, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I really kind of interested. So the book is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, The Japanese Art of Declutter and Organizing by Marie Kondo? Anyways, that's it. You might have seen it. I don't know if I'm so behind on podcasts right now. I don't know if anyone else is talking about it. I've seen it a lot on Instagram, so I know other people are doing it. That's how I found out about it. And I have to admit, we have a clutter problem. I mean, all of us, all my whole household, it's an issue. I don't like clutter, but I can live with clutter. I'm not one of those people, like, if there's a little bit of clutter, it'll drive me insane to, like, clean it up. Totally not one of those people. I wish I was. I wish I loved to be neat and tidy, and it just really doesn't bother me that much, and I don't know why. I don't know, because I didn't grow up in a house that was cluttered either. Like, my mom kept everything very tidy, and there was never clutter unless if it was mine. You know. But I'm kind of a clutter bug. My husband's kind of a clutter bug, in which our children, by kind of default, have been clutter bugs. So, I've had enough of it. Because now it's not just me living with my clutter, it's me having to live with everyone else's clutter. Drives me bonkers. So I've gotten through the first part where she talks about clothes, and I'm starting on the chapter about the books. Because you kind of go clothes and books, and there's kind of like a order you do things to kind of ease your way into like the harder things like photos and really sentimental stuff. But it's just funny because it's all about, instead of going through, and I know we've all done it, I'm totally guilty of this as well, of when you're ready to get rid of stuff, you think, okay, I'm going to get rid of the stuff I don't like anymore. And, you know, you end up settling on it. Like, okay, well, I don't hate it. I can't say I love it, but I don't hate it, so I'll keep it. And this really emphasizes on only keeping the things that you love, right? There's like a whole process. I don't want to totally give it away, although there is like an interview with her online. I think she's speaking to the Google faculty workers, and she goes in depth more, but you know, that's her telling it on me. So anyways, I'm like, what a concept, like really, like I don't have a lot of clothes right now, just because I haven't bought in like full wardrobes because I haven't hit exactly where I want to be weight-wise. So I still went through my closet and only picked the things that I really, really loved. And I still got rid of 30 items. Like, I had 30 empty hangers when I was done. I'm like, that's crazy. And there's stuff I've been holding on to for years. Like, years. That I'm like, I'm never going to wear this. Like, I don't love this. Like, I've always kept it because I didn't hate it. Like, yeah, I really enjoyed wearing it once upon a time. But I'm like, no, just, why am I keeping it all this time? Like, stuff I've had for over a decade. Like, it's silly. And then there's other stuff that I'm like, yeah, I love this. Even if it doesn't quite fit right now, if it's a little bit too small, I wore this a long time ago, and it's like a dress that's kind of a classic thing, and I'm like, yes, I am keeping this. So, I feel like it's this like really profound, like eye-awakening thing, like, duh, yes, it makes sense. Only keep the things you love. So I actually have, we buy giant clear, I guess like they're like large size garbage bags, but they're clear, and we put recyclables in it because a family of 5 makes a ton of recyclables. I mean, really, just especially plastics between laundry detergent bottles and crap like that. So I filled up almost one whole one of just my clothes and stuff, and then I had my boys go through their closet, and granted there's 2 of them, but their clothes are still smaller than mine, and they filled one. So they've already done their books, so they're like almost a step ahead of me, but that's because before I sat down and record, I am going through, and she wants you to go through handbags and shoes. Like, you can go through tops and then bottoms, dresses. Like, you can break it down into categories, kind of, but you're supposed to do it all at once. But it was late last night by the time I was just done with my clothes. So I actually have a mountain on my bed. It is almost shameful how big this mountain on my bed is of bags. Knitting bags, purses, totes. Like, I'm just throwing it all in there. If it's any kind of bag, I've walked around my house because you're supposed to gather every single one of them up. And she goes, well, I tell people, if you don't find them all, if you don't gather them all up and you find them later, you automatically have to get rid of it because you obviously did not love it enough to find it. And I'm like, okay, I have to find all of these bags. And it really does motivate you to look for them and find them all. It is this giant mountain of bags. Like, it is insane. And as I'm pulling it out of my stuff out of my closets and here and there and wherever I've stuck things over the years, I already know, like, I forgot I had this and I don't want it anymore. And then there's other stuff like, oh my god, I totally forgot I had this and I love this and I'm so happy I found it. But knitting bags, seriously, I know we all say there's no such thing as too much. There is too much. I have too many. So I'm probably going to list a D-stash for knitting bags because I don't really know where else to put it. I mean, I think there's like a D-stash for, I don't know. I just want rid of them. If they don't sell, I'm donating them to Goodwill and they're going to be gone. So I think I will just start a thread in the group with D-stashes. If you're interested, you can PM me. I'll try to get them mailed out. My problem is I don't get to the post office before it closes. My hours are pretty much like post office hours, and I'm like, really? There should be at least like 1 or 2 nights a week. They have to stay open till like 7 or 8. At least 6. I mean, come on. For the rest of us that don't get off until 5. So Saturdays are really like only shipping available days for me right now. But yeah, too much. And there's stuff I pulled out that I'm like, oh, I bought it. It was an impulse buy, or it was a limited thing. You're only gonna make so many, and I snatched it up. And now I'm like, yeah, no, not doing it for me anymore. So, and I've come to the conclusion too. It's so hard, but I think now I'm gonna ask myself when I'm buying a knitting bag, a piece of clothing, a purse. I don't know, maybe not so much for clothing, but like, do I really love it? And do I love it more than something I already have? Because I find that I have my favorite knitting bags, and I use them all the time. And I buy other ones, and I really like it, and I love the fabric. But I don't love it as much as the one I use all the time. So, and I'm really kind of nervous about going through my yarn. I mean, I know it's going to be a good thing. I know it's going to be freeing, but I have so much yarn to go through. And I already have a ton of stuff on D-stash. So there will probably be more coming because my boys want to go to summer camp. And I have to find a way to fund it because summer camp isn't cheap and I can't tell them no. They've never wanted to do anything like that before. And their friends are going and I want them to go. So I need to D-stash anyways. I need to get rid of stuff. But then I've come to the realization, I'm like, you know what? Maybe whatever doesn't sell on D-stash. There's a community center and they have a billboard and it has, you know, they can put words on it. Like, you know, it's a, crap, what do you call it? It's a billboard type thing in front of their center with lights, you know, you can write stuff on it. It's electronic. Anyways, and it said they were in need of yarn. It says, have extra yarn, donate it here. And I'm like, maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll just donate whatever's in my D-stash and just be done with it. I mean, I know some of it maybe cost me a little bit, but at this point, it's just sitting there. It's sitting there doing me nothing. And I just can't have the clutter anymore. It's too much. I feel like my yarn sometimes is going to swallow me whole. So, we'll see. But I'm totally motivated. Right now, this totally is working for me. Like, I feel so good. Like, I already see huge improvements out of just going through stuff I already had. Getting rid of stuff that I knew deep down I was never going to wear again. So, and like, my bags I already have, like, I already am, like, eyeballing ones. And I'm like, no, you're going and you're going. You're staying. So, I don't know why. Because I've always done that where people are like, get rid of one thing a day. Like, my friend was really big on that for a while. She's like, just get rid of one thing a day. You'll be amazed. At the end of the year, 365 things will be gone. I'm like, yeah, okay. yeah, it really didn't make that big of a difference. Not when I can go through my closet and boom, there's 30 items, you know. And it didn't take that long. It really didn't. It was kind of like momentary split decision thinking. And I've done that where you just try to tackle one room. And then one room looks nice. And then while you're trying to tackle another room, that room's getting messy. And I've told my family as a whole, we have too much stuff. And I'm sentimental. I'll admit it. I like to hold on to things because someone gave it to me or has a special memory or whatever reason. And I need to learn to get over that. And the thing that bugs me the most is when somebody gives me something and I feel guilty for getting rid of it. I've got to get over that guilt. Life is too short. So if you see me destashing something you've given me, apologies now. I just can't. They have too much. So I'm not saying that I will. I'm just throwing it out there. But you know, it also has made me realize some things that I absolutely love. Like my You Are Here mugs. They're totally staying. I get joy out of each and every one of those. I think of the people that have sent them to me and the places they've come from and how they've come to me, and I love them. So those give me joy every day because I use a different one every single day. My husband hates it sometimes if we get a little backed up on dishes because there's tons of mugs. There will be like 3 or 4 that need washed. So those give me great joy, and they are staying. But I'm looking through my cabinet going, well, I got this mug here and this mug there, and someone gave me that mug as a gift, and I'm like, I just need to let them go. I have 48 You Are Here mugs. I do not need half a dozen to a dozen other random mugs on top of the mugs that go with our dishes, right? Like, we have a lot of mugs. So I will keep you kind of updated, letting you know how that goes. How it goes when I finally tackle the yarn. And it might be a little bit before I get to that. There's other things I want to get to in the house that bug me more than the yarn. So, I hope you had a great couple weeks. The plan is to record in 2 more weeks. So, until then, I'm Jenna, also known as RetroLemon. I am RetroLemon on Ravelry, Plurk, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Fitbit, and Weight Watchers. And until probably 2 weeks, I'll see you then. Bye.